Welcome back, my beautiful friends. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Welcome back to My Digital World, brought to you by Tempest Network, a Burkhan World project. Welcoming back to the segment is our regular contributor, CEO of Tempest Network, Shahal Khan. And today he is joined by Shawn Sharma, a serial entrepreneur, a Cornell graduate with over 5 million followers across his social media accounts, where he often posts valuable content teaching people how to make more money and get involved in entrepreneurship. He's gone from living in a trailer park just off of $600 a month with two disabled parents to becoming a multi-millionaire. Obviously, this is propelled by his deep knowledge in blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, and Web 3.0. Today, we are chatting about how to make money in the metaverse utilizing Web3. Now, the metaverse revolution is definitely here, and it will profoundly redefine the way we work, experience, play, socialize, and learn. From taking on virtual jobs to creating digital assets, the opportunities to earn money in the metaverse are boundless. Now, you've probably heard all kinds of things about the metaverse by now, like that it's going to change how the internet works for everyone forever, or that Snoop Dogg has a place there. Now, a lot of investors are becoming increasingly curious about how they can create an income stream using the metaverse, and for good reason. The metaverse is a network of highly immersive 3D virtualized worlds focused on social interaction, where users come together to do activities through their avatars, such as playing games, attending a concert, or even simply working. Now, simply put, the metaverse is a virtual realm that parallels our real lives, in which almost anything is possible. Talk about living a double life. Now, the metaverse is made possible by technologies such as Web3 and digital assets, augmented reality, otherwise known as AR, and virtual reality, otherwise known as VR, artificial intelligence, 3D reconstruction, and the Internet of Things. That's right, IoT. You've definitely heard that tossed around lately. Now, although many aspects of the metaverse are still abstract, some clear components, such as cryptocurrencies and non-fungible tokens, are expected to play a foundational role in its internal infrastructure and economy. And here to chat some more are Shahal Khan and Shawn Sharma. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Super excited to be here.
Hi, Zen. Thank you.
Absolutely. Welcome back, Shahal. Shawn, so nice to have you on.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Okay, so Shahal, let's start with you and play-to-earn games, okay? We know that blockchain-based games with play-to-earn models, what we call P2E models, such as a very popular one that we know, Axie Infinity. We also have Avigotchi and Pegaxi. They all introduce virtual economies that reward players with tradable in-game assets and cryptocurrencies in exchange for their time and skill. But however, most of these P2E games require a somewhat hefty initial investment, usually an NFT to get started. And players are often required to reinvest for other in-game items or upgrades to increase their earning potential. Now, with metaverses, this means that gaming would most likely be the leading activity, at least for the start. What are your thoughts, and what is the best advice you have for gamers looking to monetize their time for playing?
Yeah, so Zen, I mean, the biggest problem here that I see about the whole play-to-earn model is that it really, the ones that came out earlier, someone's got to lose for someone to win. And it's not holistic around everyone participating. And what I'm seeing in the economic environment today, you know, it's so bad out there, and people want other ways of earning income. They don't want to go back into same inflationary jobs where they're working, you know, night and day and not getting ahead. We really have an opportunity here to create a new model where everyone that's participating in a work environment, you know, even if it's on the metaverse, doesn't have to be a game. They're given, you know, the adequate amount of, let's say, effort that they put in and a result, and they're able to monetize that based on their data. Simply put, if we could take all the data that people generate on Facebook and pay them for it directly rather than Facebook getting it, we're going to redistribute a lot of income, you know, around the world that people don't have. And I think this is the main change that's going to happen. We've got to help people earn through monetizing what is theirs, which their effort, their value of their data, And then we've got to, put it into an organized fashion where we could create not only games, but engagement, but also, real work where they can, actually start to create and monetize each other and their creativity. That's the most important thing.
And it's a very important thing because this could be solving real world issues. The pathway out of poverty is right around the door with this creator economy. So what you're saying resonates extremely with me. Shawn, let's chat metaverse real estate. All right. So as companies, major brands, and investors rush to own a slice of the metaverse, virtual real estate is experiencing a boom in both demand and prices. In early 2021, right, users could grab a small piece of land in popular metaverses such as the Sandbox and Decentraland for just under $1,000. But by the end of the year, people were selling these plots on secondary marketplaces for over tenfold their initial investment. What advice do you have for the novice looking to invest in metaverse land?
Absolutely. So usually when we hear about these headlines and we hear about these crazy prices on Sandbox or some of these established metaverse projects that have had land for a long time, it's kind of too late to get into them. So what I've been doing and what a lot of people have been doing lately to make money in that space is they've been looking for new projects that are backed by reputable names that have done, other startups in the tech space, that have had other companies that have done, billions of dollars before. And they're looking for those projects early, and they're trying to mint them early instead of trying to buy at already, like you said, some stuff has gone up 10x, 50x, 100x. Now that Snoop Dogg has, his land in the metaverse, it's pretty expensive to get, land in the same project. So what I like doing is I like looking for new projects. One of those projects I recently got into was Big Time. I was one of the ones to buy in early. I bought a bunch of different plots of land, and all those plots of land are up like, I'd say 20 to 30x what I paid. So what you want to do is you want to look for new projects. You want to look for new opportunities that are not already saturated. And the way you decipher between the good opportunities and the bad ones is you really look at the team. So I think the team is the major thing. If you see people that have a track record, if you see a CEO, if you see people that are investing into the project, that, certain VC firms, certain companies, they have a really good track record of backing projects that go on to succeed. So you want to be looking for those projects. You don't want to just get into stuff that's being hyped up by an influencer. And you want to make sure that you're getting in early and not getting in towards the end, because a lot of times when you get in towards the end, it's just way too risky, right? You have a greater chance of losing money than making money. So
yeah, exactly. And NFTs, to be clear, guys, for the listeners out there, are these specifically land parcels in metaverses are essentially NFTs stored on the blockchain. And this means that each plot is unique. It cannot be duplicated, and it is owned by the one who holds the private keys to the wallet address that holds that NFT. And just as you would in real world, research the metaverse project, please. Consider plot locations and scarcity of the virtual land parcels before buying virtual real estate in the metaverse of your choice. And that's a disclaimer I just want to put out there. All right, Shahal, the future of monetization. Let's talk about that. So the future of monetization with Web 3.0 may be questionable, but the majority of Web 3's focus is on decentralization. User is at the core and will be the driving force, be it content, ads, or monetization. What we are realizing is that adaptation is the need of the hour for businesses. Sure, the traditional payment methods will remain, but businesses have to acknowledge the fact that blockchain will be thrown into the mix and change the dynamic of the digital economy. How is Tempest paving the way?
Well, you see, the most important thing is you have to have the infrastructure, number one, where there's KYC and people know each other. They also have a ability to make sure that whatever assets that they have that are tied to their identity are real. And this is where blockchain, can be the audit trail. But then beyond that, you're going to have a complete, transparent, cost-effective method of transferring those assets across borders. I mean, the whole thing about decentralization is there's no borders. That means somebody in Africa or India has same amount of capability to be able to transact into various assets or buy assets or trade assets that somebody would have in the United States. Like this whole moat, of people that are only able to be within certain countries and benefit is over when real decentralization happens. But along with that, you need to have a lot of trust capabilities built in. So the banking systems that are now going to be created, those have to be tied to proper, let's say, infrastructure as well as balance sheets that are not going to blow up tomorrow, and they can provide also liquidity for the people that want liquidity when they want it, rather than waiting for days or slow startup times in terms of getting their liquidity back. So all those have to be addressed, and we've been Tempest is actually a lot more than just the engagement patent that I wrote. It's actually now becoming an entire infrastructure where there are regulated exchanges, there's regulated banks, there's a crypto to bank transferabilities based on banks that we've acquired. Because the idea is, like, for example, to the 1.5 billion gamers, for example, that we're going to initially launch and test Tempest on, we want them to be able to now trade their assets or their time. Also, they earn and now are compensated for their time, which can be now allocated as NFTs. So you have a receipt, and then you're able to sell your time and effort to a brand or a data buyer. All those have to be traded transparently. And also at the end, governments are going to see that as a form of income. So they're going to want to tax people, right? So we also want to be regulated. We don't want to be outside of regulation. Also, we want to be able to kind of help stabilize things like Bitcoin. I mean, look, Bitcoin is supposed to be a store of value, but it became a Ponzi scheme. In my view, if people are really earning hard-earned money, for example, from GameFi, and they could take a small amount of that and park it in a sort of a DeFi element like Bitcoin, but it's earned, it's not gamed, Bitcoin can actually start to become a real store of value. I mean,
Absolutely.
but that's where we want to start to make crypto a little bit more stable, a little bit more real, and people can start to earn real income with that in that way. And that's our job, to make that infrastructure.
Without a doubt. And talking about people's jobs, when we talk about the metaverse and brands, let's divert to Shawn here. So Shawn, a growing list of high fashion brands are experimenting with virtual clothing and other wearables, minting them as NFTs and promising future utility to holders, such as exclusive access to both online and offline events. And digital fashion allows users to customize their avatar's clothing. This means monetization opportunities for those looking to create their own digital clothing line. What do you say to this, and what should brands be mindful of for Web 3.0 to continue to be profitable? You have about a minute.
Absolutely. So I think coming into this space, a lot of brands need to be cognizant of the Web3 space, right? So the main ethos of Web3 is to basically give ownership to the user and give them an opportunity to, just like Shahal said, to have usage of their own data, to be able to make money on whatever their actual footprint is in that economy, right? So I think a lot of brands need to make sure that when they do launch these different digital products, they're not making the same mistakes that have led to the development of Web3. So it's not just enough to create an NFT. You have to find ways for the consumer to be able to benefit from the utility, for them to be able to even take, what they've purchased and be able to maybe resell it for more in the future. So those are all ideas that they're going to have to think about, the utility as well as a mechanism for the loyal consumers to earn money or some type of consideration in the future from their purchases.
Exactly. I mean, look, if you look at Gucci, they opened virtual pop-ups on metaverse platforms, Roblox and Zepeto, and the brand also acquired land in Sandbox. Then you have Ralph Lauren, just like Gucci, an American fashion house, they've also held virtual pop-ups on Roblox and Zepeto. So you see this trend, Balenciaga with online game Fortnite, they offered 4 signature items from its collection for players to use as skins back in September. So we're seeing this adaptation more and more, and we're definitely seeing brands move into the metaverse. And when you see the big guys, right, like Burberry, Balenciaga, Ralph Lauren, Gucci, start to make that play, it's time for all the little guys to start to wake up. Well, listen, we're out of time. Shahal, I want to thank you so much for bringing on such an enlightening guest. Shawn, thank you so much for coming on and gracing us with your money-making tactics.
I'll definitely have to come back on. I loved it.
Yeah.
All right.
Zen, by the way, Shawn is awesome. I saw him in Dubai. I mean, the way he talks to people, he inspired me, man. And he's helped a lot of people make money and do it the right way. And I want you to continue doing that, Shawn. My brother, he's a fantastic human being like you, Zen. So thank you both.
I appreciate
really enjoyed this
from both of you guys. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. That was My Digital World. That was My Digital World segment brought to us by Tempest Network. That was Shahal Khan, CEO and founder of Tempest Network and Burkhan World. And that was Shawn Sharma. Definitely check him out on the gram at Shawn Sharma, and definitely check out Tempest at tempest.network. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Tempus, the next generation of the engagement economy, allowing people to make money on their data and earn cryptocurrency for the time they spend on things they already currently love to do. With Tempus, brands will have the ability to pay you directly for interacting with apps, watching videos, playing games, and more. Tempus, the time is now. Engage and earn.
Welcome back, my beautiful friends. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Welcoming back to my digital world is Shahal Khan and Shawn Sharma. And today we are talking about how to make money in the metaverse and how to make money in Web 3.0. Now, Shahal, let's talk about buying, selling, and creating NFTs, because this is a hot topic that everybody wants to know about. And then we're going to get Shawn's perspective as well. So the vision of the metaverse is to eventually integrate and connect smaller metaverses that are in development to form this single overarching metaverse, so to speak. And when that happens, user avatars and NFTs are expected to be interoperable and easily migrated between these metaverses. And this opens possibilities of earning from NFTs throughout the metaverse, essentially. Now, one common way to profit from NFTs is to buy cheap and flip when the value appreciates, just like Shawn was talking about earlier. And obviously, this is purely speculative, but famous NFT collections such as Bored Ape Yacht Club and CryptoPunks have in fact traded at astronomical prices. So we're hyperbolizing here. But what should people keep in mind when investing in NFTs, Shahal, given all the misinformation, scams, and spam taking place currently on the blockchain?
Zen, people have to understand why they're doing this in the first place. There's, the quick fix, like a penny stock, like gambling, right? Because you never know who's behind the NFT. You never know the community that's going to support it after you buy it. It's a lot like buying penny stocks in the old days. Or, you're in the metaverse for understanding how to earn out of it and make stable income. So creating a store, for example, you're talking about big brands before, big brands should be paying people to talk about them. So I don't think it's enough for Gucci to come out and just expect people to buy their stuff through NFTs. Gucci should be paying people specific Gucci NFTs to be talking about them, right? So we have to get away from, how do we make money quickly, this crypto mentality, we're going to get 2000x on something, right? Because it doesn't exist. Value exists in the minds of people, right? Like, for example, I think maybe 2 generations from now, even 1 generation from now, people my daughter's age, I don't think they're going to really maybe have a massive value for like, Orientalist paintings or like the Renaissance paintings. For them, it'd be like, okay, well, Daddy, what's this old thing on the wall? Like, maybe the thing I have here is like priceless, right? But for the new people, they're going to be like, what is that, right? And but value is only based on what people perceive it to be, but there's that kind of value that will continue to earn income and is stable, or the sort of value that people create out of community-based kind of value creation that'll keep on taking it up, but then it'll crash. So people have to understand what they want. Do they want stable income? Or do they want to have some sort of a pump and dump scheme, right? And for that, NFTs aren't correct. NFTs are just supposed to be a receipt for an ownership of something. They're not supposed to be like a stock or a security.
Yeah, exactly. You have to really do your homework here, just like you would in Web 1 and Web 2. Web 3 comes with a lot of bells and whistles, and it comes with a lot of opportunity, especially, with this creator economy paving the way on a decentralized fashion. But at the end of the day, it's logic, right? You have to evaluate these things. You have to be well versed on it. You have to do your research and your homework. Shawn, what are your thoughts? What should people keep in mind while investing in NFTs, given all this misinformation, scams, and spam taking place currently on the blockchain?
Absolutely. There's a lot of scams and a lot of spam when it comes to the NFT marketplace. But what I would say is, like, it's easy to get caught up into the hype of flipping these things and trying to make money through that mechanism. And I would say, like, a lot of these projects are not very good projects, and there's a lot of speculation. And because of the speculation, you're most likely going to end up losing money, right? It's just not a good bet. But what I would say is a lot of people, especially people that are creators, they should start looking at ways to add value in this space by maybe creating their own NFT or helping brands do the same. There's a lot of different careers that are being launched with NFTs, with Web3, with the metaverse. And, they need people that are marketers. They need people that are video people. They need people that are artists. They need people that are website designers. So there's a lot of ways to come into the NFT space and make a lot of money. Whether you're in the press space, right? You could write press for big NFT projects, right? So there's a lot of ways to make money like that. I would caution people from just trying to buy a random NFT and flip it. If you've done your research, if you have a good reason to buy something, or if you're buying an NFT that leads to, some type of play to earn game where you're going to make money in the game by using that NFT to play a game, then I think it's a different story. But I think for most people, the average person shouldn't just go randomly buy an NFT because most likely they're going to lose money, right? So I think I would just caution people, and I would also caution them to maybe think outside of the box and find ways to add value to the space, because whenever you add value, you're going to make money, right? So you can't just rely on those quick hits. You got to find a way to be in this game for a long time, and you're gonna make a lot of money if you do that.
There you go. So what you're saying is don't give in to FOMO. I couldn't agree more. All right. Well, listen, we have now summed up another incredible segment. Shawn, thank you for coming on. Shahal, thank you for coming on. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Zen. Thank you, Shawn.
Absolutely. That was My Digital World, brought to us by Tempest Network. That was Shawn Sharma and Shahal Khan. Well, listen, guys, overall, to put it in a nutshell, if you look at the year in retract, as of April of 2021, the global gaming value exceeded $300 billion. While a substantial chunk of it is due to the rapid adoption in the recent pandemic, right, and the availability of a plethora of mobile games, gaming is no more a child's play. A sustainable long-term monetization strategy can't just be an afterthought, but an essential building block for gaming, media, and entertainment businesses. And that's what you have to keep in mind. It's the year 2022, and we are entering a new dimension with bleeding edge innovations across industry verticals. The line between gaming, the media, and entertainment is getting thinner by the day. Seamlessly integrated experiences may have sounded fancy a couple of years back, but now it's a bare essential. We're about to enter the next generation of seamless, connected tech experiences thanks to the metaverse. It's time for content-based enterprises, from small indie studios to large AAA studios and OTT platforms, to really reconsider their monetization strategy. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. We'll be right back after this.